amazing you. Wow. Well done for being here. Our time together throughout the past few days in the Wellbeing Challenge has led us to this very moment and to this topic, which is living a life of abundance and to our fullest potential. You see, if you feel right now that you have abundance in every aspect of your life, then I believe that your sense of well-being would be high up there right now. And so, allow me today to leave you with some deep thoughts and practical ways to start living abundance in any aspect of your life where you might feel you're having some lack right now. You see, my life and your life are quite different. We're living different realities and day-to-day situations. However, we have one thing in common. It's that we're all governed by the same laws in this world. The same laws of physics, the same laws of metaphysics, spiritual, and so forth. Those laws do not change. And so, if I am successful, if you can think of the most successful people in this world, if they are successful, so can you be. If other people have abundance in areas where you feel like, wow, I could improve in this area. I'd love to have more money. I'd love to have better health. I'd love to have more wealth, more friends, and so forth. Whatever it is that you feel like others have. In fact, it's not because you think others have them. It's just that you don't have them. But if other people have them, and that this world will all governed by the same laws, it means what? You can achieve abundance in those areas too. And so hear me out. I'm going to tell you a bit more about understanding abundance from a practical perspective and realizing that this is true in your life. And once this is true in your life, how can we then turn the areas where you feel a sense of lack in any shape or form into abundance? Okay? So thinking of abundance, let's look at you. Let's focus on you, your body, the world around you, and your immediate environment. Starting from you, do you think you're just one person? Do you think that's all you are? I'm just a person here, standing and talking to you. I'm not. I'm more than that. You see, your brain and mind are made of 86 billion neurons. This is just the average, so some people have more of those. Billions of neurons working every single day in your brain for you to choose the things that you think about, the thoughts that you nurture in your mind, for you to make the decisions, including the very decision that led you to this challenge. Those neurons are at your service as they are at my service. And you have your neurons, I have mine. So it's abundant. There's no, I can come and steal yours. It's yours and forever. Now, think of the cells, the blood cells that are making each of your organs function, that are allowing you to make a step, to go wherever you want to go, to say the very things that I'm saying right now. Those cells are working for me. There are more than 37 trillions. So we are abundant as a human. Then think of your world, the world around us. More than 9 billion people on earth. Wow. And if we're this many on earth, and that there are thousands, millions, billions of galaxies that you can't imagine, think of the stars that you see in the sky. Do you know how many of them are estimated to be the Milky Way? More than 100 billions. Those are all different galaxies in which there are several planets like this. So if you were to think of how many people look like us in this world, it's certainly beyond your imagination and mine as well. It's beyond the 9 billion that we know about because we live on Earth. And so the world around us, from a factual perspective, is also plenty. So whoever created this world, or whichever physical and, whatever kind of alchemy created who we are, has made us in a way that there is plenty of anything you can imagine. Now think of your immediate surrounding. If you're in a place where you can find some sand or get to the beach, just grab a handful of sand into your hands and now try to count for me how many grains of sand you can get. If you ever try and find out how many grains of sand, then bravo to you. Because I think you can't count them. Because that will be just one handful. Now, how much sand is there on the beach? I think trillions is too little to describe that. Then think about the amount of water in this world. The water that is falling every day as rain in every country of the world, in the sea. You see, my friend, I'm not going to tell more about how real abundance is. It can't get real more than beyond that. Okay? Now, how can you attract abundance to life? This is what we're going to, I think, probably the deepest level, the highest level of wisdom that you will ever have gotten since the beginning of this challenge, and maybe for the rest of your life. And so I'm inviting you to do the simple exercise as you're watching this video. Please pause, find a paper and a pen, and if possible, your favorite notebook where you have been taking useful notes since the beginning of this challenge. And I want you to divide your page into 2 halves. On the first half, I want you to write the things that you know with no doubt that you have an abundance of in your life. In your case, is it that you're a very joyful person? You have plenty of joy in your life. You have plenty of love from your loved ones. You have plenty of friends. You have plenty of money. Or you have your bounce of health. They're not to be taken for granted. Remember the gratitude exercise we did at the beginning of the challenge? I think you know all the things that you have in your life. And you have them abundantly, with no doubt, with banging on your chest. You know this with no doubt. I have an abundance of them. I want you to write it because we need to stand from a perspective of being convinced that we have these things. And you know you have these things. Write them down. If it's hard for you to start, then start with your body and all the facts I've just given you about how many cells, neurons, and so forth you have in your body. Write those things down. Find out these 3 things, please. Then on the second half of your paper, what are the areas where you feel you have lack right now? Please think of them. Is it money? Now, what I'm asking you, turn it positively. So write exactly the same sentences you just wrote before in terms of, I have plenty of this and plenty of this. Write it, I have plenty of money. If you can get specific and write a number, put a number to it. I have $1 million in my account. Whatever it is that you believe, because you have to believe in it. So when you imagine your potential in terms of wealth, how much do you believe that you can have? I want you to stay true to yourself, but dream big. Dream big and believe in that dream and write it down. I have X amount of money in my account. And then let's go to health. Do you feel you have a lack in health? Write it. High bounds of health, of longevity. And I am always feeling happy, healthy. Write the things that you want. Because you need to be clear on the things you want. If you think of the people who have been most successful in this world for centuries, there's only one thing they have in common. They are clear what they want. But I think knowing what you want and where you want to go is not enough. Here's where we go to the next step in our exercise. Beneath the things that you just wrote, that you want to achieve abundance in, I want you to go a step further and think of, for each of those statements that you just made about abundance, what are the 3 practical things that you are going to do every single day to make sure that you achieve abundance in those areas. So let's look at money. Is it, I'm always going to invest this amount. So think of how much you have as income today. Maybe you're saving more, you are investing more, but you have to be concrete. What is it that I'm doing every day so that I have achieved this level of abundance in my life? Again, please write them in the present tense. When you're done writing this, wow, I imagine right now that your spirit must feel uplifted. And the next action that I want you to do, paste this somewhere you will see it every single day. Is it on your room? Is it in your office, on your desk? Wherever you know that every day you will see this. And I want you to set a reminder on your phone so that every morning you're going to be reading this statement to yourself every single day for the next 21 days. At the minimum, and if you can do more, you're only doing service to yourself, my friend. Read it to yourself every single day. Do you know what that is doing? You're sending everyday messages to your brain and to the cells in your brain, the neurons, to be thinking and to materialize those things that you have just said. And as I'm talking to you from having lived this. I'm not talking from just my pure ideas. I have lived a life where the most beautiful thing that have happened in my life, the biggest investment I have made, just both for myself or financially, they all happened in times where I never thought I had those things or I could have them. But I never thought as well that I couldn't have them. My first international trip, I was 17 years old in university. I had no idea how I was going to make that trip for this conference, but I was so convinced that I could visualize myself at the conference. And I got the right people that I needed to sponsor my flight ticket. And I went, and it catapulted my exposure to an international world where I traveled very often. At the age of 20, I traveled to a different city in a different country, a country where I had never worked. And that was to start my first job. I had no money to rent my house, and I had to pay 1 year rent ahead. I had no idea where I'd find that. But you know what? I never thought, where would I find the money? Because if I was thinking, where would I stay? How can I find? And I can't, I think I would never have applied for this job in the first place. We need to be thinking I can't. Because what is happening when I think I can't is that the people around me, if you imagine this lady called Grace, every single day she's telling her friends, I don't have this, I don't have money, I don't have this, I can't do that. What happens? Your friends aren't going to think of you. When there is an opportunity, probably it requires a little bit of upfront investment, and then you can reap the benefits. They will not think of Grace, they will think of Claire, Carla, and all the great people in their life, Pauline, because they know these people are constantly talking about abundance around them. And so they will be thinking of those people because they know they have the money needed and the mindset to make this investment. They're not going to think of Grace, who's always thinking from a point of lack and is always saying, I don't have it. So she doesn't have it, I don't think about her. And so I made this first experience, work experience, and what happened is, you know what, the universe had been working to send my way what I needed. I got a beautiful family that decided to host me and told me, Rod, our house is yours. Our food is yours. Before I got home every day, food was ready. I ate and I slept every single day, feeling like a queen. And the first biggest investment I made in my life, or probably the biggest to date, was acquiring my first 30-acre agricultural land. Only God knows what got me thinking that I could acquire this land. But I did. I found different ways. I got my family, people who trusted me. They put their money in for me to acquire this, and I paid them 1 year later. How much is worth today? I even can't tell you. The same goes to my first house. And all of those things, I just want to tell you, abundance can happen in your life. And the reality is that abundance has always been around you. All the things that you wish to have in your life, but you feel you have a lack of right now, they have always been there. Only the questions. Are you attuned to seeing them when they happen to you? Because if you're not at that level of resonance, you're not going to see them. If they're thinking of the radio or the TV, until you tune to a particular channel, you're not going to hear the radio broadcasting a particular program. And there are millions of radios around the world, channels, they're all broadcasting. And do you know that they're broadcasting until you turn your radio on? No. Do you know what they are broadcasting until you tune to that channel? No. So tune yourself to that level where you can see abundance. It has always been around you. And it's only a matter of you deciding to tune yourself at a place where you see that. So here's to wishing you abundance in your journey, in your life. And if you're wondering right now, how am I going to clarify what I really want so that I can get that abundance? I coach hundreds of leaders from around the world to find and be clear on what they really want and not what other people want for them. If you would like to go deeper, hit me up for a one-on-one, heart-to-heart coaching session. Love you. Here's to life of abundance.